All right, guys, welcome back to another New Legacy podcast. I got the man, the myth, the legend right here, Victor Beer, one of my fellow Marines that was in my unit. And now he's crushing it. Did 3 million recently in his business. And he's here to help entrepreneur blue collars take their business to the next level, 6 figure to 7 figures. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yo, man. So, yeah, we met in Echo,
Yeah.
right? This is like well over a decade ago now. So it's been a minute.
That's right. Wow. That's yo.
Yeah, it's been a
I
while.
feel old. What the
I know,
heck?
dude.
Oh shit.
So it's been a minute. I had my time in the Marine Corps, and after I got out, like right towards the end, I started struggling with a lot of identity problems of like, who am I? What am I going to do with my life? I was abusing substances way too much. I was going through a really hard time in my life just based off of choices that I had made in my life throughout being in the Marine Corps, outside of the Marine Corps. I tried to go to school. I dropped out of 3 different schools while I was trying to do that. Wasted the GI Bill on partying and vices and things I shouldn't be doing. And really just struggled with what I'm supposed to be doing in life, right?
Yeah.
And I basically got to a point where I had no other opportunity other than to just get a job because I had no money left. I had nowhere to go. My substance abuse was at a place where I couldn't really do anything with my life at that point. It was taken over quite a bit. Most of my friends weren't friends anymore, by my own doing and whatnot. Changed friend groups too much, needed a job. And I basically had to have my dad come pick me up out of a place that I couldn't live at anymore and tow my stuff in a trailer, a bunch of garbage bags full of things. And I got a job for a few months helping him out with some stuff. And then I was like, man, I got to do something for myself. I can't just be this person. I ended up living on the floor of my dad's garage for a little bit, just sleeping out there, and I did everything I could to try to find my way out of that, whether it was getting a different job, somewhere that could house me or something like that. And I ended up getting out of there to a job that housed me. And from there, I got fired from that job for basically being a shitbag there, and then I really had nowhere to go. My mom helped me out. I stayed in a room in her house for a little bit. I even took a job as a landscaper. Yeah. Literally, I was the only person that didn't speak Spanish on this group. I would get up at 3 a.m. I did whatever it took to get money, dude.
Whoa.
I never was the kind of person that just sat around and did nothing. Like I had a job at 15 years old. So like taking care of myself and having my own money was super important to me. No matter how low I got in life, no matter how much I had nothing, I always did my very best to make sure I could at least feed myself and do whatever or pay for my extracurriculars that I shouldn't have been doing, right? That was like a huge motivator for me because if I didn't have money, I couldn't do that either,
Yeah.
And so I took a job, dude. I had to get up at like 3 a.m. I made like $14 an hour just to go up and trim bushes outside Safeway, right? Like with doing landscaping and being like the only guy that spoke English in a crew like that. And I did that for a few months, and I actually lost that job too for calling in sick like once a week because of all the extracurriculars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I got to a place where I was in a relationship with someone that I really shouldn't have stayed in, but it was someone that was kind of like my excuse to like try to be a better person, right? It was like the one thing that I knew that if I left, then I'm fucked. If I leave, then I'm on my own. I'm going to make the worst decisions ever.
Wow.
And so I was in a kind of relationship that I probably shouldn't have been in, and I was looking for some kind of work, something, and I actually hit up my dad's business partner, and from there, I asked for a job making maybe $20 an hour, $18 an hour, something like that, and on the way to a job interview with this dude, I actually had my car break down. So I was so determined to get this job that I just left my car on the side of the road and I called an Uber, and I got an Uber there to the interview. And then after the interview, I asked him to help me out with the Uber back to my car to get my car towed. So I had my car towed and everything. That was day one of getting the job. So I couldn't take the job the next day. So I had to wait 2 days. And so I started doing that for a little bit, and I got stuck working at this company, working for my dad's partner, actually, making a little bit of money, enough to at least like pay for half of a rent somewhere with my ex, and buy a little car. This was like the last year I was in the reserves. So I had a little bit of money doing that and whatnot still. So I was able to buy a car for like $2,000. And that's what I did for a couple of years, just doing this job that I wasn't making a lot, wasn't happy. It was in a factory setting. I wasn't doing anything that was really good for me. Going off, you know, just trying to make it, that kind of feeling of just going through the motions every day.
Yeah.
And essentially that turned into me falling back into my vices because I wasn't happy with my life. I felt like the world was all moving around me and I was standing still, bro. It was like,
damn, bro, I felt that before.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like this feeling of like, I'm just wasting away.
Right,
like, feeling like you're just dying.
You're like decaying.
Yeah, man, that feeling. And I was unhappy at home. And I just knew, like, I started applying to other jobs. I actually hit up my buddy Phil. I hit up.
Shout out to Phil, bro.
Shout out to Phil for sure, bro. But I hit him up and he was working at Best Buy still. And I was like, yo, you got a job for me at Best Buy? Like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And it was before the 2020. Yeah. So that was still going on and whatnot. And I ended up not taking the job because I looked at myself and I was like, all right, I'm working in every department in this company. I've done a little bit of work here. I haven't gotten a lot of money. I was making like $60,000 a year at the time. And I kind of was like, man, if I go anywhere, what's going to make me happy? Am I just choosing another job because I need another bigger paycheck? Or am I choosing another job because I really love this other job that I want to maybe do or something like that? But really, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So what was leaving really going to do for me? So I started thinking like, man, what do I love and what am I good at? Well, I'm good at leadership. I really was good at leadership. I excelled in the Marine Corps in leadership.
You were one of the best one there.
Yeah, and I was always put in positions.
Get something done, you know?
I was always put in positions to be in charge of things. Like, even if I didn't want to be, it was like, Victor's going to go do that. I'm like, all right, I guess it's me.
Yeah, we'll call you Beard at that time.
Yeah. And I always took that on, you know? I never shied away from leadership. I always wanted it. And I thought, you know, the one thing that I can see in this company that's lacking is leadership. Yeah. Right? And I know that I could do something about that because I had the leadership background. I saw things that I'm like, that's wrong. That's wrong. Like, I can fix that. Yeah. We should do something different here. And I know what we can do. And so what I started doing was I actually started looking for work that my dad's department could do on the road, jobs that we could get. I started on my lunch break going into like this side room that we had. And we had like garbage everywhere, dude. This other guy that worked in there like just left shit all over the place. It was like a storage closet basically. And we had a little computer in there that we only used for like payroll. It was attached to like their camera system and whatnot for the shop. And I just started Googling like places we could get work for and cold calling people on my lunch break. No one knew I was doing this. I wasn't getting paid to do this. I was literally just sitting there like, what else can we do? Yeah. And this is like right around towards like a part of my life where personally I was also like, I had stabilized with my substance abuse and things like that. I had gotten to a place where that really wasn't affecting my life in a bad sense anymore. I was still binging on nights when I shouldn't have and whatnot, but it wasn't like a frequent thing. But I still felt like I was kind of decaying and whatnot. I was not in a happy relationship as much as it might have seemed like from the outside. I was really just kind of stuck is what it felt like. And so I started doing this whole thing where I was looking for work. And then all of a sudden, somebody picked up the phone and was like, hey, I need help. I need 2 guys to come up here and do this. And it was like 14 grand worth of work. And at the time, I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, that's like, I mean, you were not making real money until you're like moving real money.
Yeah, no, I thought 14 grand was a lot of money at the time. I was like, I never brought any money to the business. I was just a worker, right? So like just knowing that I like found something was positive for me. Right. So I hit them up and we got 2 guys to help out with this little project. Well, like 2 weeks later, they asked for 2 more guys. And it was like, oh, now we've done like $27,000 in the last month or 2 with this little project that I found by Googling in a closet how to get, right? That job then turned into them asking if I wanted the whole contract for the project that was a year long to do the whole move of this factory that needed to move from Wisconsin to Mexico. And I quoted it for $1.3 million. And I got the project. Oh, shit. So I went from making 60 grand in a company that I was feeling like I was dead at to cold calling in a closet to landing a $1.3 million project in the span of like 4 months.
Did your like you're that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You're like do you see the world different now, or like the identity shift? Like,
For me now,
yeah.
the biggest shift that happened, I think, was realizing that I didn't have to find that I wasn't going to leave and find a different job that was going to make me happy. What was going to make me happy was being the best version of myself at the position I was in currently. So it didn't matter if I went to take a job doing something else. If I was still the person I was, it wouldn't have been fun there. So I started thinking like, hey, I have a skill set that is good for where I'm at, right? I know the trades. I know how to do all the work that needs to be done here. What if I could just use what now I found is leadership and initiative and the accountability that I've learned for myself? What if I could implement that in the business that I'm in now? What if will the job that I have now make me happy?
Yeah.
Right? Will that person make me happy if I become that here instead of leaving and try to be that somewhere else? You don't need to leave. You don't need to go somewhere else. You need to try something new to be a better version of yourself. You just need to be a better version of yourself in the place you're at right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
Like there is no, it's grass is greener on any other side. If you don't change, you're still going to be walking on mud over there, you know? Like, it's going to be the same shit.
Sometimes what you need to fix is already right in front of you.
Yeah, man. So I think the biggest shift was realizing that I didn't need outside change to change internally, right? Like, I didn't need a new environment. I didn't need anything on the outside to change in order for me to change. And once that realization happened, then I started thinking like, wow, that 14 grand I thought was a lot of money ain't shit.
Yeah.
Now my ceiling just rose. Now I was like, wow, how can we do this again? Right? And so I use that as like the bungee or the bouncy pad, I guess, for blowing up the business.
Yeah.
So what I did is we went and did this job, and we did pretty good. And we made a lot of money that year. It was the first year that we actually got close to 2 million.
Wow.
And so at the end of that year, before this, we were averaging $500,000 to $800,000 a year for 20 years.
Damn.
That was how long the business was averaging.
Wow.
All right. I did what our best year was in one project that I got sitting in a closet. So it opened my mind up all these like, okay, this is proof of concept of what I was thinking. Like, we can really do something. And after that, that was when I started realizing that wasn't enough. Like, this was easy. Like, we just got that by no effort at all. I didn't have to do anything. All I did was like put a little effort in a few days in a row, and that happened. So what happens if I like compound that? You know, what happens if I just like, all right, now it's pedal to the metal, right? Let's put the foot on the gas. Everything I told myself about my leadership being the one thing that can change somewhere, no matter where I'm at, I can do that right here, and it's coming to fruition. Like, this is real. Yeah. So then we pushed on the gas, and that next year we did $2.3 million.
Damn.
Then the next year after that, we did $3.3 million.
Whoa.
And all I had to do was continue doing what I did in the first place, was just staying on task, doing the things that got me the first thing. And a lot of people will think you need to have ads, you need to have SEO stuff, you need to have all this other kind of sales funnels to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, I think, when you're at that mid six-figure mark in business, especially in the trades, is to understand that organic growth can get you to that seven-figure mark. We didn't do anything else other than organic sales to get to $3 million.
Wow.
Not a single ad, no new website, no new SEO paid for, anything, nothing. Yeah. Just me calling people, networking, creating relationships in the right places, and staying on top of that. And that was all through me. Nobody else made those sales in that time.
Like, a lot of people get caught up in the like the funnel, the marketing plan. Like, they get caught up in that for months. They lose momentum.
Sure.
And you just pick up the phone and call.
Yeah, you just got to do the work.
Yeah. And
I'd rather go do the work for free than pay money and not know, like, why would I? Here's what I always tell people. No one's going to sell you better than you.
Ooh.
You're not going to go in a building and be like, this guy, Victor Beard, man, he's a business coach. Like, you should hire him for this reason, this reason, this reason. You're not going to do that any better than I'm going to do it. Probably way worse.
Ooh.
Why would you sell me better than I sell myself?
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to sell something, especially get to this level, getting from 6 to 7 figures is all about you being you in front of customers, selling yourself in front of customers. To get to that 8-figure mark, like where I'm headed right now, we have a $10 million goal in the next 24 months.
Oh, shit.
I know that SEO work is in the play right now. We're adding that. We have a new website. We have other sales funnels. I have salesmen on the team now.
Mm-hmm.
But the most important thing is that the salespeople under you and people that are doing sales for you,
Yeah.
that it comes from a place like it is from you. Like you're doing the training. You're teaching them how to sell how you would sell you. Instead of just hiring somebody who you think's a good salesman and then being like, go find me a job. That's never going to work. I tried that. I lost money on hiring a guy trying to do
Bro,
that.
I hire and fire so many people.
Yeah, bro, that happens.
I was like, damn, fucking never get attached with this game, you know?
No, and like honestly, in every position, especially in the trades, you're gonna hire 10 and fire 9.
Whew.
That's how it's gonna happen. Like you're
got
you're not gonna be able to hold on to more than one. One out of 10 is gonna be someone that you're like, that's the dude I want to keep.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people out there trying to do the same thing that just don't have it in them.
Yeah. Well, I'll backtrack a little bit to your journey.
Yeah.
Were you born and raised in California, or where'd you guys from?
Yeah, man, dude, I moved around a lot growing up. I was born in 𝗩𝗖𝗧𝗢𝗥, and my parents lived on a sailboat in Richmond Marina. So I started out living. My first home was a sailboat in Richmond Marina.
Oh shit.
And my parents got divorced when I was one, something like that, like right after 1 year old. And I lived with my mom at the time. We had moved into a house in 𝗩𝗓𝗧𝗢𝗥, right over there. And when I was 5, maybe I was 6, it was right around that time. My mom and I moved to Seattle. So I lived up in 𝗩𝗲𝗡, a little east of Seattle, and I went to elementary school up there. And then I moved back down after 9/11 because I was visiting my dad. The whole time I lived up there, my dad lived in the Bay Area. Every single month, I got on a plane in elementary school and flew down to see my dad. Got picked up at the airport, hung out with my dad for 24 hours, went back to the airport, flew back to Seattle. And this is all in elementary school, bro. I'm like 5 to 8 years old doing this every month. So after 9/11 happened.
That's insane.
Yeah. No, it was rough on me as a kid, and I didn't realize how rough that was for me until I got older and looked back. But man, that caused me a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety I dealt with in my life.
You don't know where your home is.
No, I never really felt at home. I think that's been a problem for me my whole life. I never really felt at home anywhere.
Damn.
And so I did that after 9/11. The flying, then TSA was a thing, right? And flying back and forth just became kind of like ridiculous. So
did you fly by yourself, or
my grandpa would? I would fly by myself sometimes because your parents,
crazy.
Your parents would back then they could walk you right to the gate. You know? Before 9/11, you could go to the gate as a non-passenger.
I didn't even know that, bro.
Yeah, so
that's fucking crazy.
Like, before 9/11, there was no TSA like security line that you couldn't like. There was none of that. You like went through a metal detector before you walked on the plane.
Damn.
So like my mom would drop me off at the plane, like flight attendant would take me.
Yeah.
But most of the time my grandpa was there for sure. But basically I did that for 3.5 years, 4 years.
Wow.
After 9/11, moved back to California. Moved around like 3 more times in California. When I was 12 years old, I was in Pleasant Hill.
Yeah.
Over there, and I got caught up with the wrong kids. I was a problem maker. I got arrested for robbery at 12 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I just hung around the wrong people, and I didn't really have a home. Like I was saying, I was looking for like a group of people to feel like I belonged, and so I left there. And my mom got me into a Walnut Creek School District after that, and that was kind of like her trying to really help me out, and that was great because I ended up in a place where I wasn't really dealing with gang members. I wasn't like around like those kinds of people anymore. Really being in Walnut Creek, you know.
Yeah.
And so it took me a little bit to kind of like grab that group of friends and whatnot. I played sports, you know, so that was good. And basically went on from there throughout high school. And so after high school, joined the Marine Corps.
Damn.
And then that was when that whole story kind of happened.
Yeah, I mean, same for me. I joined the military right after because I was like, I'm going to be young so I could heal from all these like training or injuries, whatever. Got that youth in you, you know?
Yeah.
But you mentioned, like, we talked before that, like, you were fighting some struggle while, you know, being in the Marines. Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, man. I had a lot of crazy things personally in my life. I have a half-sister, and her story is her story to tell, right? But part of her story is my story because I was the older brother. We share the same dad, and she lived at my dad and my stepmom's house while I was growing up. I was an only child with my mom, living with a single mom, and she lived with my dad and her mom.
Yeah.
And I was always looked at like, you know, the older brother needs to take care of her, but I was only there once a month. So it was like, I didn't really have that like relationship necessarily, but I always looked at her as like someone that I needed to make sure was okay, because my stepmom was kind of an abusive person. You know, that's a lot of my struggles in my life comes from that. You know, basically being put to work at 12 years old out in the back, only visiting my dad for 24 hours, right? The one day I'd be there, I'd be put to work in the backyard for 8 hours.
Damn.
And then I would get told I was a spoiled person or whatever, because I didn't want to do that. On my one day off visiting my dad, I didn't want to spend the whole day working for my stepmom while my dad is either working or drinking at the bar.
Wow.
Like, that was not cool
Damn,
for me.
that's a crazy childhood.
I had to deal with her, and she was extremely abusive. And I watched her call my little sister a whore and a slut at 5 years old because she said she liked a boy at school.
Wow.
You know, like really bad stuff. Physical, mental, just really, really abusive things.
Yeah.
And my sister grew up around all that. So when I was in the Marine Corps, I was like kind of escaping that part of my life. I stopped visiting my dad. I stopped visiting that whole part of my family for quite a while. Like, I just separated myself completely. I didn't want any part of it. But I watched my sister kind of go down the wrong path a lot from living in that area and in that environment. You know, my dad was always gone. My stepmom was her mom was the way she was. And so my sister got into drugs and all these kinds of things at a really young age. And I ended up, one day, my dad called me. This is like a year and a half before I got out of the Marine Corps. My sister had just turned 18. And before this, my sister had gotten to like a bad girls camp, you know, bad kids camp, you know, that would get sent away or whatever to finish high school like that. You know, got suspended and kicked out of school, ran away from home all the time. That, you know, cutting her wrists and just like that kind of thing all the time, right? And I was always getting called to be like the older brother, to be like, you got to take care of your sister. Like, go call. You need to be the one to call the police, even though I lived 3 hours away.
Yeah,
I was always being put the responsibility on me to like do something about it, because they want to ignore their problem. You know, so I ended up having to do that. And about a year and a half before I got out of the Marine Corps, I got a call from my dad, and he was like, "Yo, your sister is in a hotel room in 𝗡𝗡.
That's like near our base, bro.
That's what he was saying. He's like, I know you're in San Bruno right now. He's like, you need to go save your sister. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean I gotta go save my sister?
Yeah.
And basically, he was like, yo, she did some shit she shouldn't be doing. She got caught up with some people in Los Angeles. They took her phone and her purse. Borderline, this is human trafficking we're talking about, right? Yeah. This is like prostitution, trafficking that we're talking about right now. Then she ended up in 𝗡𝗡 somehow with no communication with anybody. We don't really know what's going on. My dad's finding this out from one of her friends that's telling, hey, like, yo, she's fucking in some shit right now. Yeah. You know, like someone needs to do something. So my dad calls me, because I'm the guy who's going to save everybody all the time. And he was like, yo, you need to go save your sister. And whatever happens, dude, I'll get you out of jail. I'll do whatever I need to do, but you need to do this. Yeah. And like put all the pressure on me to like go save this person's life. Wow. So I went up to I&I and I told the staff, NCO at the time, I was like, yo, this is what's going on. I got my sister is in a hotel room. I need to go save my sister. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I kind of had to come up with a lie, you know, a little bit, because they're like, they don't want you to go, a Marine to go like fucking do something stupid, right? Right. You don't have that on the Marine Corps. So I don't know what I said. I had to go save my sister. I don't know. I said something. They let me off base, bro. And I was in my camis. And I remember getting in my car. My dad had sent me the address to where to go. And I didn't have no weapons. I had nothing, dude. I showed up to the hotel, and I just remember I had a pen in my pocket. Shit. Like, all I had was a pen. And I walked into the lobby, and I was like, because I don't know where she's at in the hotel. And the lobby guy, he like clearly knew what was going on. And I asked him, he's like, bro, like, she's 18. Like, I can't legally tell you where she's at. But what I can do is I can put her room number on the screen, and I can walk away from the desk, and I can say, I can turn the screen a little bit, you know? And he highlighted the line of the room number that he knew she was in. And he was like, dude, you know who she's with, right? And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. So he walks away, and I see the room number. I'm like, all right, cool. I got a pen in my hand, and I'm in my camis, and that's it. And I walked over to the door, and the freaking door is like cracked open a little bit. So I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? I don't even have to knock or nothing. So I'm imagine, dude, I'm a Marine, right? And I left base. I'm fired up, dude. I'm like, I don't know what I'm walking into. All I know is what my dad told me. My little sister got human trafficked. Wow. And I'm like, my dad said he'll get me out of prison, whatever I do. And at this point, I was like, I was ready to kill somebody. Like, straight up. Like, I was like in that mode where whatever was going to happen was going to happen. Yeah. And I had a pen in my hand, So I walk up to the door and the door's cracked open, right? The door's cracked open a little bit. I'm like, fuck, man, I don't even have to knock in this place, right? I push in the door a little bit to kind of hear, and then I just fully swung it open. This big ass black dude right here, just fucking like 6'4", 300-pound dude.
Oh,
and
shit.
I'm like 6 foot, barely, like 195, right? And I had a ballpoint pen in my hand, and I literally just looked at this big ass black dude sitting there, and I just said, sit the fuck down. And I pointed out the chair. And he sat down. He was just like, what the fuck? And I said, I'm going to stab you in the neck if you move, bro. And literally after that, my sister comes out the bathroom, and her jaw drops and everything. I remember her look on her face like, oh, she saw a ghost, bro. The last thing she was thinking was, my brother's about to show up in this room.
Damn.
Right? And so I said, hey, let's go outside. I need to talk to you. And I told him, like, you don't move. You stay there. I'm going to leave the door open. I'm going to talk to my sister. And I talked to her. She wouldn't admit to me nothing that was going on. She said she was there on a date with him. Right? She always looked up to me. Right? She always would say, like, she wanted to be like me when she grew up and all these little things, right? And so I knew that she felt super embarrassed, right? Because, like, she got herself into this situation in the first place, right?
Wow.
The last thing she wanted was for her brother to show up, right, in this kind of a situation. Because as much as she wasn't happy with getting her phone and her purse stolen, she kind of went along with what she was doing. They were paying her, you know what I mean? Like, you know how it works in this world of prostitution and human trafficking. Like, they manipulate women and whatnot. And, like, they don't really know how bad this shit could really get. And I could tell that she wanted to, like, kind of tell. I said, hey, I got a car. Let's go. Grab your shit. Let's get out of here. And she literally was like, I'm not going nowhere.
Damn.
And it was that moment in my life was probably the hardest moment I ever done in my life, was to go, all right. And I turned around. After all that, I turned around and walked to my car, and I sat back in my car alone. After all that, after everything I'd just gone through that day in the last hour, I was sitting in my car alone, driving away from that hotel by myself. And then I was like, man, my dad put me in that situation. I put myself in that situation. My sister doesn't care about me helping her. Nobody, like, I put my life on the line for people, and I got nothing in return. Nothing, right? And that was a moment when I went and started using way worse than my substance vices. My vices got bad that night. And that really put me off on that path. And then getting out of the Marine Corps was the last thing I needed. That next year I got out, and I lost the brotherhood. I lost my reason for really, that was the one thing that was really keeping me, like, somewhat there. And after that was when I spiraled down into couch surfing and losing every job because of this and that, and just totally losing myself completely. That was the biggest moment of my life, I think, and it took me years to figure out what moment it was that really set me off. I was partying and everything before that, right? We were Marines. Marines know how to party.
Yeah, they know.
But, like,
crazy.
It was not destroying my life in the sense where, like, I was still young enough to be like, hey, this is just a party phase.
Yeah.
And it was still, like, I was still trying to get my stuff together and, like, do good things. But it was down that path, and that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Wow. That was it. After that, I didn't give a shit about nothing anymore, dude. Wow. I didn't care about anything in life after that. It was like game over. So that really set me off.
Damn. Did you ever, like, get contact with her ever again? Or
we have over the years. I haven't talked to her now in like a year and a half. She's a victim person. Like, we've done everything. That's so she crazy. Actually, like, committed suicide like 2 years ago and died 13 times on the way to the hospital. Was in a coma. Came out of that. Was in a wheelchair for a long time. She from that moment on, it's just been problems for like 6-7 years, just on and on. Going to college, getting kicked out of college for selling drugs, being with bad dudes who are in prison, you know, like just going down that wrong path. And then when I don't take her side on things, when she's arguing with my dad or whatever, she would then blame me. She'd be like, oh, you're just trying to make him happy or whatever, even though I'm just speaking the truth on things. And then she would start talking shit to me if I didn't have her back on something. Like, I would have to agree with everything she said, or I was a bad person. And then she started, like, talking down on me, and I was like, bro, you know, the things I have done for you in this life, I'm good with this, bro. I'm out. Like, you're good. So I blocked her, and we haven't had really communication now for. There was a couple little things in the last year, because she was on my Instagram, and then she, like, talked shit on my Instagram randomly. And I was like, bro, now we're really done. You know, like, this is good. Bro, like, we stopped texting over a year ago. Yeah. And now it's like no communication. I don't even know. I have no idea what she's doing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm good.
Bro, this life is fucking cold, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah. I never set boundaries for myself in my life. I never did. Like, I never had good boundaries. I always just did whatever anybody asked of me, or, like, try to be a people pleaser all the time. And these were some hard lessons I had to learn that'll do to you for sure.
I mean, fuck. I was gonna ask you what's some principles you learned from the Marine Corps, but that story.
Yeah, I mean, the principles from the
Oh
Marine
fuck,
Corps
that's crazy.
are simple, bro. The
Yeah.
principles in the Marine Corps is leadership,
Mm-hmm.
honor, courage, and commitment, bro. It's the three things. Those honor to do things that are honorable in life, and to make sure that everything uh, you do out of good intention.
Yeah.
Right. The commitment, when you say you're going to do something, you follow through with it and you do it. And the courage, right, to do things that you are afraid of doing, even though you're afraid of doing it. That's courage, right?
Yeah.
And I think those three things that the Marine Corps teaches to everybody there's a reason why those are the three that everybody talks about, right? They are the foundation, I think, that it makes to make a good man, a good leader.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of CEOs are from the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick, bro. When I was attached to you guys, I mean, I was greenside the whole time.
Yeah.
And if people don't know what greenside is Marines don't have medics. They use Navy medics as their medic, and they got me, and I was a Fleet Marine Force corpsman. Probably like the best adventure ever. The craziest thing is like you guys do work like fucking like crazy work. I'm like, these guys are not even human. How are they like setting up things so fast? You know what I'm talking about? And tearing things down and fucking. I was like, damn, you know.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things, and I was talking to you about it earlier, was the speed in which you do things.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you the output that you're looking for. If you don't move fast, if you're moving slow with everything you do, you're never actually going to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you want to go is also moving, because other people are also trying to do it. So the slower you move, someone else is going to get there, and now the places you need to get is further. Yeah. So if you don't take that next step to get there while everybody else around you is doing it, you're going to fall behind. Yeah. And that was what the big thing in the Marine Corps was, like the speed, bro. Yeah. It was like good. I'd rather everybody take good initiative and have bad judgment than never make a move. Because if you don't make a move, your judgment doesn't matter anyhow. Right? Like, who cares if something is the right... If you believe that's the right way to go, but you don't fucking make a move to go there, then who cares what your opinion is? The guy who really gets there is the guy who takes the initiative to take that step and go, shit, man, I might have taken the wrong step here, but at least I went somewhere. And now I know that that's the wrong way. Now I need to go this way. Yeah. But the guy who just sits back and says, you're doing it wrong, or just a talker, right? They think they know everything. This is how you're supposed to do it. But they don't actually do anything. Yeah. He's moving nowhere. Yeah. I don't want to be that guy.
Do you remember the things they always say, like, leave everything better than you find it?
Oh, man. I take that I actually use that line.
Really?
In my work daily. Still, to this day, as simple as that sounds, right? Like, oh, man, we would get so pissed. We show up somewhere and somebody's been shooting rounds already, right? Yeah. And there would be, like, brass all over the floor. And now we're picking up brass that's been there for, like, 300 years. And you're like, damn, Marine Corps ain't even been here this long, you know? Yeah. Like, you're picking up dirt at this point. Like, make it cleaner, right? Yeah. But at my job sites, it was something that was super important because there's other trades around. When you're on a big job site, there's a lot of trades that are there causing mess around you. Yeah. And you might show up to a job site doing something that, hey, somebody was ahead of you doing. Either electricians were there or plumbers were there or somebody else was there before you're doing what you're doing. And they left somewhat of a mess. Yeah. Now, a lot of people will think it's not my responsibility to take care of their mess. But at the end of the day, when you leave, someone else is going to come there, your customer, something like that. They don't know whose mess that was. Okay. Right? They don't know. Yeah. They might see electrical strippings or something like that and be like, that was the electricians. Yeah. But most of the time, they're just gonna be like, there's a mess here. Who was the last people working here? Ooh. Well, if you leave the place cleaner than where you arrived to, you're never gonna have that problem. And then a customer's gonna come over and go, man, who were the last people here? It's so clean. Yeah. And then boom, they want people that are keeping organized job sites, clean job sites around. Yeah. It's not always like who's the best. It's who looks like they're the best.
Sauce.
Right?
Sauce. Were you ever like suicidal, like at any point?
Yeah, man. So there's been a few times that suicide or the thought of being suicidal has been in my life. When I was really young, around 12 years old, my dad had somebody that was living in an apartment that he had built next to his house. And that dude blew his head off. Oh, shit. So like literally this like we call him like, and later it's a funny story because they found some pot in his house afterwards and they were like, oh, that's dead Bill's pot or whatever. But basically this dude was living there and he wasn't paying rent for a few days.
Uh-huh.
And they went over there and I'm like, literally, I remember the night that it happened because I heard the gunshot. We were all sitting at dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm like 12 years old, bro. And this dude had basically just blown his head off and he was sitting there on his couch, like with blood all over the place. And like, I'm 12 years old getting all this told to me. I'm like standing there at the sliding door trying to see like what the hell's going on in there and whatnot. And I actually felt depressed at that age.
Wow.
So this happened. And I thought, wow, like this is the first time I really learned about suicide. Like, what is this? And I remember explicitly, I remember taking a knife in my room, bro, and putting it on my windowsill and pretending to run into it. Because I was like, what's going to happen if I die? Is anybody going to care?
Damn.
You know? Like that was a legit thing. I would put it on the ground and stack it up and like jump off my bunk bed, pretending like I would land on my knife and then daydream about like who would be at my funeral.
What?
I'm doing this at 12 years old.
What?
Right? I was extremely depressed and I didn't even know what it was. I was a single child. My mom was at work all day. I would come home from school. I would take care of myself. She would leave food for me to like make or whatever. I would have my lunches, made, and my grandpa would be there. But he was, my grandpa. He would sit and watch TV, and I had the full reign to do anything I needed to do.
Yeah.
At the young age of like 12 years old, I was the one with an alarm, getting myself up, getting my clothes on, getting to school. Right? Like I took care of myself, so I didn't really know what I was feeling or like what was going on. But that was my first. When I look back, that was the first time that suicide was really in my head.
Wow.
Then the worst one, when I got really close, man, was around 22 years old. I got this tattoo right here, "Legends Never Die," from Sandlot. My buddy had overdosed.
Wow.
And he died, and I had actually helped him. He was struggling with money, and he was dealing with drug abuse and whatnot. Same with my group of friends, and basically he gave me this whole story of like my parents are going to kick me out of the house if I don't give them some rent money or get a job.
Wow. And
he was like, I got 14 days. I'm like, fuck, you ain't going to have enough money in 14 days. So he was like, well, if I go sell some drugs, I can make some money.
Damn.
So I actually helped him out with some money so he could go buy some drugs and then sell it to make more so he could afford to, I thought I was helping somebody. Obviously, I was not in a good place in my life at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I think that I'm helping this dude, and he ends up going to buy drugs, and he overdosed on those drugs.
Whoa.
So then I felt like I just killed one of my best friends. Like that was me. I thought that I just killed one of my best friends. I helped him get the money to overdose on the drugs that killed him.
Damn. So
I dealt with that for like 2 months. After dealing with that, I basically blacked out for 2 months. Wow. I don't even know what happened. My mom had given me like $5,000 as a backup money at the time because she knew I was struggling and I was trying to go to school but didn't really know I had dropped out. I was doing whatever, and I basically used $5,000 in a 2-month period on substances. Damn. And I blacked out. I don't even know what I was doing. And I was sitting there one day and I was dating this girl, and I remember like I had a bottle of pills and I had a bottle of alcohol, and I had a firearm too. And I remember telling her, oh, it's good. Like she was falling asleep on the couch. I sent her to the couch, and I sat there, and I was ready to end my life. I was 100%. I was done. I was like, oh, this is fucking. I'm over this, right? Damn. And I was this close, right? I was literally, like 3 seconds longer, I was gone. My phone rings, and it's my buddy's sister. My buddy who had died. Yeah. It's his sister, and she calls, and she's like, hey, I just want to see if you're doing all right. I had this feeling I needed to ask you that. Damn. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. And I just started crying, bro. I hit up my buddy, and it was in the middle of the night. We went over to the beach and just listened to the waves, like, hitting. And I ended up going to, like, AA after that. I still struggled, obviously. This didn't, like, cure my vices and whatnot, but it was a wake-up call to, like, I need to do something. So then I kind of halfway got my stuff together for a little bit. Not really, but enough to keep me alive, and I dealt with that during that period of time, hardcore, man. And I don't think I ever really got suicidal again after that. I think that was the closest I ever could get. Yeah. I think I had depression and stuff like that going on for the following, 6-7 years, but it was never to the point where I was actually ready, like that close. Like I had thought about it before that, but that was real, bro. Like sitting there, like this decision is made, I'm done. You know, but never again like that. Like that call saved my life.
You believe in God?
Yeah, man, I do.
Damn, that was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's not. It's telling you it's not your time.
For sure. No, for sure. It felt like that. For
Bro,
real.
that was crazy. I'm getting chills from this.
Yeah.
How are you doing back there, Rob?
Good.
Is it like this crazy? The story. You shed a tear?
No, I try not to.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a
Bro, like this journey that we. I mean, I'm just like I can't even talk. I just like while listening to you talk, it's fucking. It's fucking crazy, bro. I think it's one of the more like extreme story I had.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that is that I don't look at it that way at all.
Damn.
You know, because I've met so many people in my life that have lived like way worse. Like, as far as what I look at, I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I don't even look at what I've gone through as hard because look at me, look at where I'm at now.
Right.
You know, it's hard. I think a lot of us struggle with looking back to how we got to where we're at and accepting that was hard.
Yeah.
You know, like I did something hard.
Yeah.
But it's never enough. You know, so you always look back and you're like, you're still looking to do more. And so you kind of ignore how hard it was to get to where you're at now. And that's why it's so important to like celebrate your wins and be appreciative of where you're at all the time and have that grateful feeling.
Wow. All right, we're back for part 2. So we're going to be talking about the mindset, what is holding a lot of people back from reaching their goals, and a lot of things that's holding entrepreneur, blue collars, entrepreneur back from reaching their, 7-figure mark, because that's the 6-figure mark. It's kind of what you need to survive nowadays. But breaking into that 7-figure for their business is the new sauce we're going to be sharing with my beard.
Yeah,
So,
bro.
Yeah, tell him what's up, bro.
I love how you said that, like breaking into the 7-figure because it is a milestone, right?
Yeah.
It's like everybody's like that $1 million to be like, my business did $1 million.
Yeah.
Is a big thing.
Yeah.
And anybody that gets there should be proud of that for sure. It's not easy because to get to $1 million, you can't do it yourself. Especially in the blue collar trades, in industrial, commercial, residential, whatever you're doing, getting to $1 million takes a team. Right? You're not going to go in there and charge enough money to be able to make $1 million on your own. And that's like the big part about this is most guys who go out to start a blue collar trades business get stuck at like 500,000 to 800,000, right in that mark. And they put themselves in this box, there's a ceiling they created for themselves because they're probably on the job site most of the time, running most of the jobs. And there's no more time that you can get in the day, right? There's no more time in the year other than the 24 hours everybody else gets. Yeah. So you kind of cap yourself out. If you're going to be running every job, obviously you can't run every job if you want to scale your business. That's just not going to happen. You can do it to a certain extent, and then what's going to happen is you're going to start ruining your personal life. Your family's not going to enjoy you much anymore because you're going to be spending all your time working. Your family, your kids, or friends, you're not going to be doing anything that you really enjoy outside of business anymore in your life when you try to scale that way. And you'll just hit a ceiling. You just can't do more. You physically can't do more work. Yeah. I think that really the idea of getting to $1 million is more so about how you're looking at how you look at doing your business rather than just thinking about doing more business. Right? A lot of guys will think like to get to $1 million, you have to do more business. But it's not always the case. Like I think that the year that we really scaled, the business that I came and took over and stepped into, the business that was doing between 500 to 800,000 on average per year for 20 years. I stepped into this business and within the first year got us to $2 million. And it wasn't because we did so much more work. We just spent our time focusing on higher ticket jobs. So I actually did probably the same amount of jobs or projects in a year. I just focused on doing higher ticket jobs. So instead of doing 3 jobs in a month that added up to $100,000, I did 1 job in a month that was a $200,000 job. Right? Now all I needed to do is focus on, if it's still 1 job, you still need just 1 person running the job, maybe a couple tiers lower, you know. But if you're hitting $500,000-$600,000 a year, most likely you already have some good employees. You're not doing that by yourself.
Yeah.
So the idea here is there's a tiered system of how you got to scale that business, because it comes there's a lot of problems with just putting the wrong people in the wrong people in the wrong places at the wrong times. You're going to have bad leadership because you've never led anybody before. You've been building this business by yourself, working every job. So as soon as you try to scale, you put the wrong guy in charge of the wrong job, and now that customer is upset with you. That customer looks at your company as a company that don't want to do business with because you just put the wrong guy in charge.
Yeah.
That whole leadership aspect of things is a huge problem.
Well, what's your take on so I got a good question right here actually. So a lot of people don't want to charge high ticket because like maybe their self-worth or self-esteem is like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been there before, but it's like, I'm not worth that much.
The feeling of like giving somebody I will never forget. I had a job. I actually didn't win this project. Okay. But it was the biggest project I ever coded in my life.
Yeah.
It was $4.4 million for one project.
Wow.
All right. I got a call afterwards that I was right spot on the money. And really, it was a guy that he already knew the contractor he was going to use. But I had been in his face. I had been networking. I had been like trying to get this company to give me work.
Yeah.
And he gave me a shot. And when this guy gave me a shot, I gave him a quote of $4.4 million. And a month later, he told me I didn't get the project, but he told me that my quote was spot on. And that feeling of knowing that I did this right, that he said, you know, you were worth that. Like, he basically told me, hey man, I'm going to throw you a chance next time for real.
Yeah.
Because you gave me the number that I thought I would have taken for this job.
Wow.
So that was a moment of realizing like, wow, you don't have to lowball yourself to get work. You don't have to create this environment where you only feel like you're worth this amount, when the reality is people want you to be there to do a job well. And if the job is done well, they'll pay whatever it takes. Now, sometimes it's the right customer is the wrong problem, right? Or the problem could be that you're just going after the wrong customer. There's price buyers out there, right? Like there's guys that are, especially like in residential, you're dealing with homeowners. You're dealing with people who just want the cheapest stuff done. I deal mostly with commercial and industrial work. And a lot of the times they're not looking for the cheapest bid. They're not. They look at the cheapest bid as someone maybe who just doesn't know what they're doing. So sometimes understanding your worth is also understanding that a customer wants the job done correctly, especially when you're dealing with commercial and industrial. If you're trying to scale to $1 million and you're dealing with bigger customers, you're doing more B2B work, they want to make sure that their investment is worth it.
Damn.
And sometimes going with the cheapest bidder feels like, am I going to have to spend a bunch of money to fix what these guys are going to do later? I really just want the job done now. I want it done right, correct. And I don't want to pay for fixes later. I just want it done, right, the right way. And I started realizing that over time because I started trying to win jobs by lowering my price. And then what happens is guys start wanting you to lower your price even more the next time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, hey, since you gave me a deal on that one, can you like make it even better on this one?
Yeah.
And you realize you got yourself in a little bit of a trouble there because that client is always just going to be a problem. So you got to kind of also distinguish between, is that really your client or not? Is that going to be your customer long term?
Yeah.
Now, it's a different thing to try to win a customer that way. If you know that there's long term a ton of work there, there's something to be said to lowering your margin a little bit to earn business, in the caveat that in the future your numbers will be this or that.
So B2B does like net 30, net 60, net 90. I don't know if you guys do that.
So it depends. A lot of times in industrial work, the customer is going to tell you what they want to pay you. So a lot of times as the vendor, you know, as the contractor, you're kind of at the mercy of what that customer wants. A lot of bids will come in where they say, hey, we're going to pay you net 90. You don't get a chance to change that. You don't get to say, hey, we do net 30. That's how we do it. They'll go, okay, we'll find the next person then.
Wow.
You know, when we're dealing with companies that, like Tesla, for an example, or companies that do billions of dollars, right? They're not going to pay you because of the way their structure is in these big corporate industrial worlds. Their CapEx and the way that their finances are, they have to wait for approval on this, for this, and then it takes them time. So if somebody's coming in demanding money right away, they just won't even deal with you. So you have to be okay with knowing that you're going to have to wait a little bit for money. So someone who's trying to break into the $1 million mark, that's stuck in the mid six figures, there might be a threshold to how big of a customer you can deal with, because the larger the customer, a lot of times will have a larger net time for payment.
Wow.
Now, it's not the case always, right? We have, our standard is 30 days net.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I always do that, and I have a percentage prior to the job starting, a down payment, right? We always make sure there's a down payment prior to the job start, and then we distinguish with the customer. We decide where the middle ground is. Hey, when's the middle date of the job completion? We want another percentage at mid date. We just keep payments going there. And yes, they're 30 net 30, but then maybe by the time the job's done, you've been paid for more than half the job already at least. All right? Yeah. And when you're talking about 30% margins, 35% margins, and you're doing $500,000 jobs, you can afford to have that net 30 as long as you're getting the right percentages along the way on the stepping stones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole different game when you're stepping to that seven-figure arena.
Yeah, it's not the same at all.
Yeah.
You know, when you're trying to make a $14,000 job or a $9,000 job, your profit might be $3,000. So there's $6,000 that you got to pay, and you might not have saved enough because you're trying to build, and your employees need to get paid.
Yeah. Oh, that's the hardest, bro. When you're trying to build a business.
Yeah, right.
And the payroll comes every month.
Yeah, so if you don't have the bank account to back it, it's really difficult to not have payments come in. Yeah. So I always advise, and what we had when we were doing smaller numbers, when $20,000 was a bigger job for me, my pre-payments, my down payments for a project were a little higher, and then I would do net 1 week. I would do net. I would tell the customer straight up from the very beginning before the contract's written, hey, I need this amount of money to pay my guys at this time. Yeah. If that person's not able to do that, maybe they're not your client. Maybe they're not your customer. Yeah. But I always found that being really honest with your customer is going to get you a lot further than trying to, like, after the fact, demand money. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the customer is going to pay you. They're planning on paying you. Yeah. But they just, if you told me I'm okay making the money in 30 days, if you pay me back in 30 days, most people will pay you back towards the end of that. Yeah. But if you said I'm going to loan you money, and I need it back in 7 days, they might wait till the 6th day. But hey, 6 days is better than 29 days. Yeah, no, I mean, I work with a couple of B2B, bro. It's fucking, I was like, that was a whole different, like, side of getting paid. Oh, yeah, it is. And you got to be, at some point, it's not personal, right? That's why I prefer B2B, because it's more of just like, this is what's required, you know? And B2B gets it, because you're dealing with another business that also has employees, that also has people to pay. So your problems aren't, only yours. Like your ego, like fucking. They have the same problems. They understand, right? And it's really important to be open and honest with your customer and say, hey, I'm paying a lot of money out of my, like, there's nothing wrong with telling your customer, I'm putting a lot of money down to make this project happen. Yeah. Right? With what I do. I have people flying across the country. I have people in hotel rooms. I have people with fuel costs. I have job site costs, material costs, all these costs that come out. And if you're not open about that to the customer, they're not trying to be an asshole to you by saying, we're not going to pay you until this time. Yeah. They just don't understand how much you need it. And people fear, like, this feeling of, like, if I tell the customer I need this money, they're going to think I'm broke. And it's like, no, dude, I'm not broke. I just need to pay my guys on time. And the only way to build a business is to ensure that that's happening. And I don't want to go to bed thinking, where's the money that I need to pay all these bills, So put it onto your customer. Yeah. What's wrong with that? Yeah. I think it's just like a 6 to 7 figure jump. There's a lot of, like, self-limiting belief and things like that. Yeah. And they're taking their personal problem into the business. I don't know. That's a big one, for sure. You know, I think that the biggest thing for me, actually understanding how to grow, once I even hit 7 figures, trying to get to multiple 7 figures, was that I was my own limit, right? Like, if I had personal problems in my life, I saw those same problems in business. And when I learned that by looking at what's happening with my business, that year that I dropped $1 million, last year when we dropped from 3.3 to 2.3, I knew the basics of why it happened, and I saw it coming before it happened. I knew it was happening. And I knew what I was going to do throughout the year to stabilize and create a better foundation, which is what we did so that this year we could hit 4. Yeah. But what I found out is that the issues I was seeing within the business were a direct reflection of the issues I was seeing in me.
Wow.
100%.
So it's good to work on the entrepreneur too.
You have to. I mean,
Is that the first place to start?
I think for sure that's the first place to start. I think that you can't build anything without a good foundation.
Mm.
And as the entrepreneur, as the person with the vision, as the person leading
Yeah.
the company,
Yeah.
if your personal foundation isn't there,
Mm-hmm.
you're building everything else based off of nothing, right? Everybody else is going to feed off your energy. And if your energy's all messed up, they're going to be growing their foundations, their personal foundations within your business. Your management's going to take on the same foundation you have because you're teaching the wrong things. You're teaching a foundation that's actually just a house of cards. You're teaching a foundation that can crumble at any time.
Okay.
And so if you don't work on you personally, you won't be able to withstand the difficulties that come with scaling to 7 figures.
Wow.
Because it's not easy. And you will have struggles and things that happen that are way more difficult to deal with than, fuck, I'm $3,000 behind on bills. Well, try being $300,000 behind on bills,
shit.
bro. Right?
Yeah.
And if you don't solve that now when you're building the foundation of your company,
Yeah.
it's going to destroy you when you come get anywhere close to 7 figures.
Wow. Do you have a specific routine to get yourself right?
Yeah, man. I think that there's this fine balance between being extremely disciplined and being human. Okay? Like, I've done the whole monk thing where I just go like, no alcohol, no nothing, perfectly, not a single beer ever, no drinks, no nothing with customers, wake up the same time perfectly, same meals every day. I've done that. But I also I think that what happens is you start focusing on that being the importance instead of what that gives you. Right?
Oh, shit. You get lost in your own sauce.
You get lost in your own sauce, man. You get lost in the discipline itself. And you become someone that no one really wants to hang around because it's like you're not human anymore. You're just so robotic with everything that you do that, yeah, for certain business, like it's okay. It can grow your business. But I'm not talking about just growing a business. I'm talking about growing a business that also allows you to live a good life to where you enjoy your time with your family. You have friends. You do things in life that you enjoy. You're not just this robot that like makes millions of dollars and that's all they can stand on for their life. Like, why would you want to do that? I want to look back on my life and go, the person I became through this whole journey is amazing. Not look how much money I did. Look how big my business is.
Because that's just ego.
That's just ego. Right. And so the whole discipline thing,
Yeah.
right? Where I'm getting at is that I've done that whole thing. So I think there's a balance there. I think for me personally, I get up very early, but I'm okay with it being a 30-minute window.
Yeah.
It's not like 4:30 on the dot, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'll set my alarm at 4:30, and if I feel good when that goes off because I did what I was supposed to do the night before,
Yeah.
I'll get up.
Yeah.
If it goes till 4:50 because I snoozed it once, I'm not going to beat myself up over that.
Yeah.
But I have a window, and I give myself a window because it's okay to wake up in that time. Now, if you start slipping,
Yeah.
you got to check yourself. Go back to some serious discipline for a little bit.
Yeah.
But over time, you'll find that balance, and it's about finding that, right? So I get up in the morning, I do prayer, meditation, pretty much every day, maybe 5 out of 7 days a week. Some days I might just wake up and watch some YouTube on a weekend morning because I feel like I need to fill my cup up, or I need to.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
No, exactly, man. And I think a lot of these guys that are just like hardcore discipline on their shit 24/7, the same thing, I think they lack a little bit of human aspect. And I think that in business, especially in business, when you're doing sales, especially if you're trying to get to multiple 7 figures, you're dealing with business owners, you're dealing with high-level employees. There's a lot of people that maybe can do what you do. So what sets you apart? Well, what sets you apart is who you are as a person. So if you're unable to connect with the human part of yourself, the part that isn't perfect, the part that makes mistakes, the part that is trying to be better every day. If you can't connect with that, you can't connect with someone else because you can only meet someone else as deep as they've met themselves, right?
Whoa, wait, say that again? You can only meet someone else?
You can only meet someone as deep as they've met themselves.
Dude.
Right.
Sauce.
So there's this thing where in business I have had more luck. I'm not going to call it luck. It's not luck, right? This is a strategy actually to just be yourself. And a lot of people struggle with that in business. They think you got to like button up and be this person, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I made some of the best deals in my life in business by telling people that I had substance abuse, by telling people about my history of who I am as a person.
Damn.
Because it creates a trust.
Yeah.
Right. And when you're asking someone to pay you $500,000 for a job, $400,000 for a job, do you think they want to trust you? Right? They're giving you a lot of money.
That's
They don't want to just give it to some guy that says they know what they're doing. They want to give it to some guy that knows what they're doing, is confident about what they're saying, and they can trust the person that it is.
Right.
And that's by giving your story to someone. So if you can't connect with yourself, you're not going to be able to connect with the other person.
Yeah. Because I've seen, I work with a lot of crazy people, really high level entrepreneur. They're all like very autistic, and they also like to mingle before they do a deal. I'm like, wow, you guys just wasted 3 days mingling.
Yeah.
Just 3 days hanging out. I was like, is
part
this,
of it.
you know what I'm talking about? I was like, that's kind of weird, you know? I don't know.
It's funny. It's weird. As an American, it's weird.
Yeah.
Right. And I took this class in one of the colleges before I dropped out of one of them. I took an international business course.
Yeah.
And I don't think I did very well in it because I didn't show up to school very much. But I do remember this one thing where, it was basically the nuts and bolts of the class.
Yeah.
Was what it's like to do business with other people from around the world.
Yeah.
If you're doing it was an international business course.
Yeah.
And I learned about hot climates and cold climates.
Yeah.
And how different people are different ways.
Mm-hmm.
In America, we like to just get to the point.
Yeah.
All right. In Germany, they like to just get to the point.
Yeah.
If you go do business in Mexico, which I've done,
Yeah.
they want to talk about what their aunt made for dinner last night and what they did with their family last summer. They want to talk about where we're going to go out to eat tonight before any business talk.
Yeah.
And that's just understanding the person you're dealing with. So there's situations where like, hey, man, let's just get to business. But if you're talking to somebody that's from a different culture and from a different area, which happens a lot in industrial and commercial business because you got people from all over the world trying to build something for themselves, you have to understand that part of it. And that goes back to the human interaction thing where you're not talking to another robot. Like you're talking to a human.
Yeah.
This is another person that you're talking to. It's not some AI robot that is trying to do a deal with you. It's a human being. And if you can't connect with them and understand how they are going to connect with you, you're not going to be able to really convey why you're different than the next person.
Yeah, I thought like the B2B or business to business world is more like cold cutted, but I feel like it's a lot of like personal relationship, and it's like it's kind of interesting. I don't know.
I think networking is a lot of people will. I mean, in my opinion, networking is the number one thing in industrial work with B2B.
Yeah.
Because in an industry, especially if you're in a niche industry like I am, I'm only in a few industries. I'm in baking, I'm in food and beverage, I'm in auto manufacturing and general manufacturing. I've definitely expanded quite a bit, but the industries that you work in, people will know each other within that industry.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like in the podcast world or whatever. Like you guys, you start knowing each other.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
They start sniping my clients.
Right. And so this is what I say to a lot of guys who are like in the mid six figures. If you aren't focusing in a certain area, you're kind of just spreading your bullets all around, right? Like you're not focused. And it's the same thing with goal setting. It's being very intentional with what you do, right? So if you focus, say, hey, this industry, maybe I'm an electrician. I own an electrical company. And we're doing $500,000 a year. But I'm doing electrical for this kind of work and these people and these people and these people. Well, how do you network? None of these people know each other because you're working in car manufacturing here. You're working in food here. You're working in baking here. So before you get to be able to scale, you have to be able to network in a group, right? And this is before SEO. This is before ads. This is before that. Like I got to 2 million with none of that. Just organic sales and networking.
Yeah.
The more you talk to people, the more you get yourself out there and network with the business owners and the people that are going to be signing the check to give you, the easier it'll be to get more work because everybody knows each other. As soon as you do a good job, you ask for a referral, boom, done. You got another one.
All right. Boy, I got some game. Like this podcast makes me want to go dial. I have like hella leads right now. Bro, such a... I don't know how to explain it, bro. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, sometime like, let's say one of our accounts like over 100,000 followers. So there's a lot of input. Like, there's a lot of like inquiries. So like, sometimes just like, just take the people I know first.
Well, that's a good way to do it. But you still got to hit up the other people.
I still have to, bro. There's just so many people I haven't replied to.
Yeah.
But when they're coming in, they're hot in the beginning.
Yeah, and it's to keep them that way.
Yeah. But it's like, it's weird when I first started my business, I have to chase after people to get deals. Now they're coming in, and I'm just like, well, I just want the ability to do the best job I can with the right budget, and I want to protect my energy at all costs. Cause
That's a perfect way to segue into what I was going to say.
yeah,
Yeah, because a lot of people will think they have to do all these ads.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do all these ads or SEO work or,
Yeah.
you know, how to get your name out there so people start calling you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't figure out how to go do your sales first and prioritize your time properly to go make that work happen, what's going to happen when all the work starts piling in? You're going to leave people hanging. You're going to miss people. You're going to be unorganized. You're going to basically let people down. And that's worse than having them come in the first place, because now you're building a bad reputation for yourself. So before you get any of that extra, it's so important for you to handle your own ability to prioritize your time going out to get that customer, so that when they all start pouring in and customers start coming your way, you know how to handle your time. You know how to set it up to where, like, if you, before all the people started reaching out to you, if
those are easy days, bro.
Easy days.
Stress. I was like,
but so you didn't have to worry about your time being perfect, because anytime you could just pull out and be like, all right, a few people to message here.
Yeah.
But if you had set like, hey, between 8 and 10 a.m. every single day, this is my time to respond to people. And then when they all start pouring in, all you got to do is say, fuck, man, I don't have enough time in that 2 hours to hit everybody up. Maybe I need to add another hour later in the day, and this time do the same thing. You would never miss, because it's already in your schedule. You already know what you do.
yeah.
But instead, you're just firing from the hip, trying to take on things that are coming your way. And that's what happens. A lot of guys, like, in $500,000, trying to scale to 700, they think that they have to, that their business isn't growing because they don't have enough clients. But your business isn't growing because you haven't gotten to go get enough clients. Your clients don't just come to you because whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to go get that.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that part of it first and learn how it is to handle all the customers that you got and prioritize that time and succeed in doing that, when they all start coming to you because you did ad work, because you did SEO, like, it's going to work. It's not a matter if it doesn't work. It's about a matter of how you'll handle it when it does.
That's a different perspective, because we're out of the scarcity mindset. And also, like, I have another contractor friend. He's pretty cool. When he's on sales call, he has $100K in cash right here.
That's funny. That's hella funny.
He's in HVAC. The guy's
Dude,
funny.
I know a guy. I knew him when I was younger because my dad did some work with this guy, and I remember seeing this dude once, and he was on the phone, and in the middle of a business meeting, he took a phone call and bought a fucking jet. In the middle of the phone call, he literally was like, "I'll do it for 600 or whatever it was. I don't remember the number. It was like 60 million or something like that, some crazy." And the dude was like, "Nah, I need it for 80 or whatever." And he was like, "All right, sorry," hung up the phone.
Damn.
And then he was like, "Hold on, wait." The phone rings again. And the guy's like, "I'll do it for the 60."
Damn.
He's like, "All right, cool, bet. I'll throw the money away right now." Boom. And then he went right back to the meeting.
God damn, bro.
And it was like this, like, realizing that people really look at money that way.
Yeah.
And like, over the years of seeing people do business, of watching other people do business, and this is why I talk about expanding what you believe you can do, because your ceiling is always going to be what you believe you can do.
Yeah,
always.
That's like fucking me growing up poor to see like
Sure.
money moves like these. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's fucking insane. Why were we struggling so much?
Yeah. No, it's and even guys who like are, I think it's the worst. It's funny because there's I talk to a lot of guys like you and like me and Phil, other guys we need, other guys we know personally from the Marine Corps and whatnot.
Marine
Like other
Corps,
guys we know that didn't really have anything growing up, or like didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
We become really successful.
Yeah.
Because we have like this drive or whatever. We all have our own reasons.
Yeah.
But we become successful, and then you look at people who like kind of had decent, like they had what they had going on, and like they were never going to be in like real struggle for any sense. They kind of just never leave that.
Yeah.
They kind of stay in this pocket of like, good enough.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there's something to say about that, and that's why businesses that are stuck at $500,000 or $600,000 every year, year after year, they're stuck because they feel like it's normal. They feel like that's as high as they should have to want to go. Like, why would they want more?
Yeah.
It's not about wanting more. It's about knowing you can do more. Right.
And some people like, I don't know if this is like lyrics from a song, but it says like, growing up poor, you're always gonna have a big appetite, but you have a weak stomach, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know how to handle that in your family before. You never seen your dad do it or something. So it's like you gotta just level up on that.
Yeah,
part.
man. Yeah, and that's why I go back to like the personal development of a business owner.
Yeah.
Because that's what my dad struggled with the most. Like still to this day, drinking like crazy. You know, like he just drank his whole life away basically.
Yeah.
And people will do that and stay in the mid six figures.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, they sit down with a regret that they cut themselves short.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of business owners I work with, they drink like a fish. You know.
Yeah.
It's I think it's just like they just can't. Maybe they didn't optimize to handle that much stress for that long. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we got being in the military and stuff. I think gives us like a little bit of like an edge up because handling stress properly is like
the military
grinds that into you. It's like you'll do what you got to do if someone's spitting in your face, you know?
Yeah. What was the saying? Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Like if you're
We're
not
used to
15
that.
minutes early or late.
Yeah, we're used to that. But
You asked me today when I was here half an hour early.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're here early. I'm like, dude, this is on time for me.
Oh yeah, because I'm used to civilian, bro.
Yeah,
They're always,
dude,
like,
you tell
on
me to
time
be
or
somewhere
late.
on 15 minutes before that time always. That's
Oh,
just
wow.
me.
Yeah.
I
Shit,
just
bro. That's
I
the
live-
competitive
I do business
edge,
that
bro.
way. Yeah, it is. It has to be, and I make my employees feel the same way.
Wow.
Now, in real life, like my employees, if they show up 15 minutes early, they're gonna expect to get paid for being there 15 minutes early. So I don't make them be there 15 minutes early, but I still tell them this is my mindset. I still tell them, hey man, if you ain't 15 minutes early, you're late. What happens if you plan to be on a job site right on time and you hit a traffic accident or a car accident?
Yeah.
Well, okay, cool, you're gonna be late, but you're gonna miss out on 30 minutes of work.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna pay you for those 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but like that's the problem. Like you want 30 minutes, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you want to be there on time and look like you care? Like if you're driving 45 minutes, maybe give yourself an hour. Like a lot of guys don't get that, and it never really jived with me. I was like, dude, I'm not late ever, never. Like cardinal sin.
I think there's a lot of stuff that we picked away from the military that helped us like handle uncertainty in business, because business is a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's
being able to control the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the uncertainty of. That's why we have so many plans. We plan more than one thing at a time, right? Before we're going on a mission or something like that, there was always like pre-planning.
Yeah.
More planning. Then there's the terrain map, and you're going over the planning there.
Yeah.
Right? So there's just always, and then in that, there's like, hey, this plan is going to be like this. And if this happens, then you're going to do it like this. But if this happens, you're going to do it like this. And you're always planning all these multiple things. You can never have it all perfect. But the idea of it is if you plan for a bunch of different things to happen, it trains your mind to understand how to pivot quickly.
Yeah.
Because you're already thinking of all these different avenues of how to solve a problem that comes that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
That you're able to then do it because it's a muscle memory thing. You're used to pivoting.
Yeah. Do you remember 𝗩𝗘𝗖𝗧𝗢𝗥?
Yeah.
He runs a big AI company now.
Really?
Yeah, he's also one of my clients.
No, nice.
Yeah, we did a couple, like 3 projects together.
Really?
Yeah, like they're raising a lot of money.
That's cool.
And he got like Mark Zuckerberg's sister to be at one of their event.
Oh, nice.
Like you said that, I just remember I was like, huh. Like a lot of like the Marines from our unit went on and do some badass shit, bro.
Yeah, man, Marines go do some cool shit.
Yeah.
And that's why I really like understood like with business, like I had to go back and like, what is my skill set, right? When I was talking about how, what do I really know how to do?
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, well, I was really good at being a Marine.
Yeah.
So what are all the things that made me a good Marine?
Yeah.
Can I implement that somehow?
Yeah.
Right? Like I implemented 𝗩𝗘𝗧𝗢𝗥 into my business.
Oh shit.
Yeah, bro. Begin the planning, arrange the recon, make recon.
Yeah.
Right? Complete the plan, issue the order, supervise. I implemented 𝗩𝗘𝗧𝗢𝗥 into my business.
Oh,
everything
shit.
that I do starts with 𝗩𝗘𝗧𝗢𝗥, just like in the Marine Corps.
I mean, that's why. That's
in the blue collar world in trades, it's
Yeah.
it's very similar, right? Because
Yeah.
we're in the infantry. I was in the infantry, right? So you got like a mission that comes down, and then you got to do the begin part of the planning. Then you got to do range the recon, figure out what information do you need,
Yeah.
right? Then you got to go get that information,
Wow.
and then you got to bring all that information back and complete the plan. Now that you have all the information you need,
Yeah.
then you need to delegate, issue the order, right? You need to delegate all the planning to your people, to your infantrymen,
Yeah.
and then you need to go behind that and supervise to make sure it happens correctly.
Yeah.
And in the blue collar world, in the trades world, that translates perfectly because you get a bid that comes in, or you've already bid a project or whatever.
Yeah.
You start planning for that project, right? Then you figure out what else do I need to know so I can make sure this project goes well.
Yeah.
Then you go out and get all that information. You can get it from the product engineers, or you get it from the architect, or you get it from the supervisors on site, the customer, wherever you got to go to get the information. Then you get all the information, you get your team leaders together and your people that run your business, and you complete that plan.
Yeah.
And then you go issue that plan to all the underneath the workers so that they know what's going on, and you say, go make it happen. And then you go behind that and you supervise. It's the same thing.
Bro, that's so crazy. I mean, like, luckily I was green side, you know?
Yeah.
So I got to experience fucking
Some of that.
fucking, I don't know, fucking, you guys built little fucking bases, like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about? I was like,
Those are those terrain maps, right? We draw out the whole place. If you're looking over a city or whatever, you just draw it out on the ground and you like.
I'm like, dude, like these Marines are like fucking the Navy, Air Force, fucking, they make their check, but you guys earn your check. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, man.
I remember, like, I was like, damn, you guys are training for, fuck, bro, it's fucking.
Yeah, and I think that in the blue collar world,
Yeah.
it translates so well because you got a bunch of guys who are like overly egotistical,
Yeah.
a bunch of manly men,
Yeah.
right? Guys who think they know better and they work their asses off every day,
Yeah.
right? There's a solid translation between the Marine Corps infantry and a hardworking blue collar man.
Yeah.
It's very similar. So it works very well, the same tactics to make the Marine Corps succeed as it does in the trades.
You know, like with the AI transition that we're going to, a lot of the white collar jobs going away, the blue collar jobs are like gems now.
Yeah.
Like, what's your take on that?
You know, there's a lot of opportunity for business owners in the blue collar world.
Yeah.
Right. I think that as far as a blue collar worker,
Yeah.
if you want to go get a job in the blue collar field, you can go get that. Pretty simple. I think it depends on where you live. There's a lot of towns and cities that are booming and towns that aren't because it's too expensive or whatever it is. The pay might not match the cost of living in certain areas.
Yeah.
But in general, man, even my company, I mean, looking for people, finding people who are not only willing to do the work, but to learn and that actually can learn and can retain and move forward. They're kind of like, they're not showing up right now. And like, we all need it. So I think that it's the shortage right now is maybe not necessarily that there's a shortage of them out there. It's a shortage of, there's a lot of people that want to go do it that don't have the skills yet. And it's hard to just hire a bunch of people without the skills. You need to have a mixture, right? And then you have to have good leadership to be able to train those guys and not just cast them off because they don't know anything. Like, that's what happens a lot. A lot of these companies are like hiring people that don't know anything, and they get mad at them because they don't know anything. And you're like, dude, you hired them knowing this. You should teach them, right? It's your job as a leader to teach these people. But the reason there's a shortage is because there's just not a lot of guys that can make it. Like they don't retain it, they get lazy, or they don't want to work for a certain dollar amount or whatever. They expect this high dollar amount when they don't really know anything yet.
Yeah.
If people know something, they should get taken care of.
Yeah.
But in the long scheme of things right now, I feel like there's a huge opening for people that want to actually care about it, and it's not just like a job.
Yeah.
You know, like if you go into it thinking it's just a job to get you by till you can find something better, you're never going to be worth it to the person who's hiring you.
I mean, with everything going on right now, I think blue collar is the biggest like opportunity right now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity
Like,
for it.
you
When I say
can't-
shortage, I mean like the owners of businesses that need it are feeling like, where the hell do we get these guys?
Yeah.
Like, where are they at?
Yeah.
You know, like if people want to sign up for this, they should, because there's a huge opening for people. There's like this age gap in the blue collar trades right now where I feel like there's a lot of guys in their 50s to 60s, and then a lot of guys in their 20s and early 30s. But that 30 through 40 gap is missing.
Wow.
And if anybody's like trying to transfer into a new or transition into a new field or be blue collar or learn something like that,
Yeah.
they're in their 30 or their 20s, didn't go the way they expected, and now they're looking for a new career.
Yeah.
Man, there's a huge availability there, an opening for those kinds of people, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like you learn a trade, and later down the line, you own your own business too. That's just like
Sure, absolutely. I think that should be most tradespeople's plan,
uh-huh.
is to do that. Now, some people don't want to have the responsibility of running a business, but I
Yeah.
always tell people that say that they say some people will have a thought in their mind and that maybe they want to start their own business one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then if all of a sudden they go back and they go, hey, it's actually pretty comfortable to not do that and just be doing this job and make this a good amount of money and I'm happy doing this. That will eat you up. The rest of your life, you're going to look back and be like, man, I should have done that.
Damn.
Right? But if you never think about it, if you never are that person, you've never wanted to run your own business, you've never wanted to be a leader, you've never wanted to take accountability for your own success, then sure, getting a job is great. But if you want to be someone that actually looks back at their life and goes, man, I did that.
Yeah.
Like I look what I accomplished. Like I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's about creating something for yourself in your life. Right? It's about making it yours. A man should be creative. A man should lead. A man should be someone who other men growing up should look up to. Everybody who's a man should want to be that man for a younger man. And I think that really the only way to do that is to be that person that leads, that creates, that provides, that, disciplines themselves enough to be able to show that to the next generation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Beard. Thank you so much for being part of the show today. It's like crazy to connect with you again because we were in the same unit. And to hear I have no clue all this freaking crazy shit was going behind the scene for you, but you always show up for Echo and freaking amazing team leader there. But yeah, before we go, let the audience know what else you do and how can they find you?
Yeah, man, you guys can find me on Instagram at @VictorBeard_. And what I'm doing is I'm helping blue collar trades owners and B2B businesses grow their business from mid 6-figure to 7 figures in 1 year. Now, what I do is I work with you individually and I help you with the mindset and the portion that you need to grow your business, not only in the strategy of your business, but as you personally grow the business.
And one more thing. So you mentioned that in order to win in the game of business and get to that 7-figure mark as an entrepreneur in the blue collar space, you also have to work on the owner itself. What's your take on that before we go?
If you're a blue collar business owner and you're stuck in the mid 6-figure range and you're trying to grow to 7 figures, the problem might not be your business strategy, business sales, or business marketing. Your problem might be you. Your mindset is that of a 6-figure business owner. And to get to 7 figures, your mindset has to be of a 7-figure business owner. That's what I do to help you guys out. I believe that you guys can make it to 7 figures within a year. Now, to do that, go ahead and reach out to me on Instagram, @VictorBeard_, DM me or comment on any of my videos, and I'll reach out to you as fast as I can.
Well, thank you so much for being part of the show again, bro. It's fucking crazy to connect with you and see where we go from here. Very good looking guy, so
Come on.
no homo, right? But I'm just saying, I work with a lot of clients, and the people that are better looking,
We're getting gay now.
people that are better looking get lower ad costs because I look at the ad costs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tremendously unfair.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's super unfair.
No, yeah.
Oh, we don't have boot bands on, bro. Chill out, man. We're in a studio alone.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
the
man.
show.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Thank
Really.
you.